Is it a penguin? Is it a toucan? Well, it's neither one, but I will tell you what it is. It is definitely not a penguin, neither is it a toucan. But you could easily be forgiven for thinking that the subject of this week's episode of Wildlife Wednesday is one or the other of these birds, when in actual fact it's neither. This week I want to talk about the puffin, or more specifically, the Atlantic puffin, which breeds on many of the islands surrounding Ireland. There are two other puffins, the horned puffin and the tufted puffin, which are found in the northern Pacific Ocean. So we leave them to one side and concentrate on our puffin. Yes, I did say our puffin. Because the Atlantic puffin is, as I've already said, a bird that breeds on the islands around Ireland's coast. So I think we have a serious claim to calling it ours. It comes to our islands from late March or early April and stays until August or September. And for the rest of the year, it's a resident of the Atlantic Ocean, never setting its orange webbed feet on land again until the following March when it's breeding time once more. Although puffins don't always breed every year, sometimes taking a break to restore lost energy, or as some sources suggest, to relieve stress. It's almost hard to believe that this adorable, photogenic bird is in actual fact an intrepid seafarer, capable of surviving the harshest North Atlantic conditions, and this could well be the reason for skipping a breeding season. This, coupled with the long transatlantic journey back to Ireland's islands, could well mean that Irish puffins are simply too tired to breed. The preference for offshore island nesting is because it generally means that they are safe from predation by mammals being far less numerous on our offshore islands than they are on the mainland of Ireland. They will often use old uninhabited rabbit burrows as their nest site, sometimes even evicting the resident rabbits from occupied burrows. Puffins are believed to mate for life, and having mated, the female lays one egg which is then incubated by both parents. After it hatches, the parents will feed it for about 6 weeks, and then they abandon it. After about a week without food, the chick realizes that the parents are not coming back. So it leaves the nest, usually at night, and heads out to sea to forage for itself. And by the time the season's end comes around, it is well and truly capable of heading off to sea with the rest of Ireland's puffins. Puffins live well into their 20s and can even live to be 30 years old. At 5 years of age, they're old enough to begin breeding, and it's at this stage, having spent up to 5 years at sea, that they return to Ireland to find a mate and begin the circle of life all over again. Before moving on to today's slideshow, here are a few puffin facts you may or may not know. For instance, did you know that a puffin weighs about the same as a can of soft drink? Or that 60% of the world's puffins breed in Iceland? Did you know, for instance, that puffins have a cruising altitude of about 30 feet, unlike other auks which tend to fly just a few feet above the sea? Not only that, but in flight, they can actually reach speeds of up to 55 miles an hour. I'm sure you're all well aware that puffins can carry large quantities of fish in their beaks. With raspy tongues and spiny palates, they have the ability to firmly grasp as many as a dozen fish on one foraging trip. One final little puffin fact, which may well be the most important one for many people, and which makes them probably the most popular, appealing and photogenic bird in Ireland: their technicolor beak and matching orange feet. This multicoloured beak is actually shed just before winter sets in, leaving the puffin a much duller version of itself. With that final little puffin fact, I leave you to hopefully enjoy today's slideshow. Well, thanks again for watching Wildlife Wednesday, folks. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and if you did, I'd be grateful if you'd give it a like and subscribe to my channel. When you do, don't forget to ring the bell so that you're notified every time I upload new content. Till next week, stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, and wear a mask where necessary while continuing to maintain social distancing. Remember, we're not out of the woods yet. Take care, folks. Bye.